How we doing? We're gonna go ahead and continue on with the engine swap series. This one is going to be comparing the factory bus versus the Porsche engine swap bus. So let's go ahead and take it for a spin. I already went on and found a couple liveries for it, so it's got a little nicer flair to it. This is going to be our factory variant. Start off. Ooh, look at that body roll. I think we are a little underpowered for this league right now. I feel like I need to tilt my wheel up. Give it more of a bus vibe. Good lord, I may not have the gearing set right for this thing. I put them both around 250. Not sure how many gears this thing has. We'll find that out. So I'm actually really liking this course. It's got some good hill transitions. Kind of upsets the car a little bit and gives you a really good overall feel. So at least for the European cars, this is probably where I'm going to end up doing a lot of the testing. It's weird. You can almost feel that the seating position of the driver is above the steering wheel. So I don't know if it's just in your head, but it just feels like the car swings differently than a lot of these long hood cars you're used to. This little thing's doing all right though. So we got 5 speeds. We're not getting anywhere near them. I mean, this thing started off with a 33 horsepower motor. So being able to bring this thing over 100 miles an hour is a pretty good accomplishment. Is this still our first lap? we may need to I don't know. This might need a part 2. We're on our second lap, so if you need to go make a sandwich, you got 3 minutes. I mean, you can see the thing has a lot of body roll. It's a van. It's one of these things that are kind of surprising that it's even in the game. So it's doing what it can. And part of this is this thing is not set up for a transmission that's geared to go out this high. I don't know if we've hit 100 miles an hour in this thing yet. I haven't been paying that close of attention. Come on, girl. This one's running with the Scooby-Doo livery. I figured I wasn't the only one that thought of it, so I went ahead and grabbed one. Don't remember who actually made this one, but it's one of those where it was done better than I was likely to do it. And I think this thing's about to go into the abyss in the garage where after this review you'll never see it again. Unless it's forced. Oh, this guy with the 911. Man. The fact that we're hanging out with him in this thing is not... That's got to be an ego-crushing situation. All of these cars. The Countach, the Clio. They cannot be happy that I'm running with them like this. And I got bad news for him for the next race. Assuming that I can put the power down. So I guess if there's an advantage that this one has over the next one is that it's definitely getting the opportunity to draft some cars. Should have almost done like a UPS livery on this thing or something, like FedEx or Postal Service. I feel like I'm about to get out and deliver some packages. It does feel better than the postal truck in Grand Theft Auto, though. Like those delivery missions are terrible. This is a turbo variant, so that was our best time. I didn't see what it was, but we'll find out here in just a minute. So yeah, the thing with this is the Porsche variant has a naturally aspirated motor, and this one was allowing the turbo. I went with the mid-range turbo, which is what I normally do. Looks like our fastest lap was a 244. A little over 244 and a third, looks like. So I don't think I'm assuming the next car or the next version is going to be a whole lot quicker. The bigger issue is going to be planning the power. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and while we're at it, look at the power curve, look at the weight, and then see what the comparison is going to be on this thing. Go to settings first. So we got a power curve that is oh my God, 94. 94 horsepower. So I don't know that we hit 100. I didn't see it. I don't know if you did, but 130 torque, 94 horsepower. It feels about right. This thing's not fast. So but I mean, pretty flat curve, so not too bad. Let's go ahead and switch to the Porsche variant. I went with a barn find look. I mean, over 4 times the horsepower, triple in the torque. So this thing should be quite the handful. So let's see what we got here. We should at least be able to get out of third gear. It's got the same exhaust though, which surprised me. Oh God, oh God. That was not a problem we had on the other one. I have to short shift this thing a little bit to get the traction where we need it. I didn't notice the weight difference. I didn't notice what we were looking at there. I forgot to take a look at that. But I mean, this thing, you can see it's slingshotting past these cars. We're over 100. Oh boy. So this thing feels big. I mean, it did in both variants. It feels big, it feels tall. It feels like you're, throwing a big hunk of junk around the ring. So you notice what you're driving. Suspension's soft. But we're in first, and over 10 seconds down from the best lap we did before. Well, not over, but we're 10 seconds. Oh, no, we're 20 seconds down. Have to get that drift set up on this thing. It's really not bad to drive. I mean, it's for what it is. For what it is, it's not bad to drive. It's terrible to drive, but You're able to catch it a lot easier than I thought you would. I mean, you're not running clean laps in this thing, or at least I'm not. It's a lot of slop, a lot of correction, too much power, too much height. .217 there. That's not too bad. You gotta short shift this thing a lot too, because as it builds up, it just starts getting ready to break loose. And I have traction control set to 1. I think that's usually. I think Gran Turismo is a little bit more forgiving with the traction control, but than like an actual race car. But most race cars today, they want some sort of traction control. They're just kind of built for it. I don't know that we've gotten out of third in this one either. It's got way more issues than where you are on the power band now. Like you're dancing around with this thing trying to keep it under control. Like you want to get the suspension under wraps before worrying about what gear you're in. We'll say that was for demonstration purposes. What? Between the two, obviously this one's actually something you can compete with. The other one you pretty much need to find. If you're not being forced into it, I wouldn't recommend it. And even now this one, I mean, you're not going to take this into a 650 or a 700 series race and have a good time. It's going to be something you're going to have to work for. But it definitely is a good home for that motor. So it makes that vehicle something that you can take out of the garage and actually play with a little bit. But not bad. And stay tuned. Coming up next, what I decided I'm going to do is, like we've been comparing the motor in the factory car versus the factory motor versus the swap motor in the same car. What I decided I'm going to do as well is take the motor. So we got the VW bus here, and then that same motor goes into the Beetle. So I want to compare the bus versus the Beetle. So if you have one motor, it kind of will give you an idea of what your best home for that motor is. So I'm going to be working on trying to get this set up right, and then we'll compare the bus against the Beetle and see which one is the better fit if you only have one of the motors. But thank you for watching, and take care.